Welcome to Radio Essence. My name is Susanne Lindberg and I'm recording from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. So the subject today has to do with feelings. Listening to your own feelings. It is going back a little bit to my work field, but it is as well a very important step in what I started last video, where I talked about picking different subjects. So the subject, feelings, and believing in your own feelings and emotions. I really hope to be able to give this subject you could call it a new twist. I can say that I know to trust my feelings completely, 100%. But yeah, there are certain aspects of this I would take up. But first, I have shared on YouTube, my YouTube page, a video that I want to talk about. It's from an article in a Swedish paper, Dagens Nyheter. This article, that I hope I will find the link to it put under this video, was about this, I think he's around 14 on this video, autistic boy, and that he's considered being a possible Nobel Prize winner in the future. So an amazing story. I mean, there he's on this video. He's standing in front of an audience and talking, and I found the one chapter from a book written by his mother about him, and this was the first chapter of the book when he was 3 years old. And I mean, it's just an amazing story, but that wouldn't have been enough for me to share it with you. The reason why I share it is something he says in this video. He talks about Einstein and Newton as examples. That when they get to these amazing theories of theirs, it was during times in their lives when they were not learning and studying. And I mean, listen to this boy, and he says much better than I do. I mean, it's some time ago since I listened to it. But the thing of, let's say, it goes together with the conclusion I have that constant input is about we taking in. And I think in the end it will make us more and more stupid. But I recommend the video. He's an inspiration. And another article, it's from a Dutch paper, Volkskrant. And I wanted to talk about it because it's quite scary, especially with the background I have. It says about children having backs, their back is like someone of 50. I have the experience of not being able to use my arms during my conservatory studies for 2 years. Let's say that was the subject and the thing of dealing with and working with them, finding out and get rid of a problem that I was dealing with it for 10 years. And I learned a lot. This was during a time when it wasn't so well known. There was people like musicians, dentists, and so on who got this kind of problems. But musicians, I didn't talk about it. I did, and found out that so many are suffering from problems, and now we have computers. And I wonder, let's say when this generation grows up, those who have had computers and doing things on tablets or whatever since they're really small children, and when they grow up become 30, 40. First of all, what I found out when I had these problems, it's very hard to find good treatments for these kind of problems. And maybe it's changed a little bit, but I don't think too much. There's a reason why this is part of my practice, that I treat backs and neck and arms pains and so on, is because I have really experienced myself the treatments out there, and that I've been able to compare and see that I can reach better results. And I know how hard it is, and go to a doctor is, if you get a good advice there, you're lucky, really. But let's as well say, I have talked about 20 years of inner work that I've done. And you could call it a kind of side effect, is now that my spine is boiling sometimes. It's warm, there's energy going on, and I did a little bit of yoga when I was 18 years old, and I used some exercises to solve my problems, but that's about it. So Kundalini and those things, I haven't worked with it, but it's there. And so now they're streaming there, and I wonder, I mean, the spine is like nerve center, the energy center in our body. And to be within your own essence is like you physically get there. I could talk about this another time to try to get more clear, but to explain it better. But then I wonder about those children who are already as young start to get cramped spines. It's not only a physical thing to me, because I worked emotionally and got a physical result. Okay, I had to work physically because my spine was a disaster early in life as well. But I think the emotional work as well has given physical result, and if it physically does as well, I have experienced very clearly, does influence the emotion. So if we want to be more true ourselves, and the spine that is kind of contracted and in this, it from my experience, it goes against each other. So the whole thing, yeah. Now I actually I could bring up 2 articles that I've read, and they are actually all together. It's a physical part and the learning part, or what this boy is talking about. Both together with sitting in front of a computer and having a life in front of a computer. So many children are growing up with. And the input, yeah. I'm curious about the coming generation. So I think they will have a lot of problems to go through. Another thing I want to tell is this thing of labeling. It was I did write under my last video I realized that, I mean, the name of the video influenced very much how many who listens, who do not. So, in that name, the labeling of the video, you have to very much be able to tell in a good way so that people who are interested will listen, and those who are not. But I gave up when I got to title. I'd never placed that video, but it was the beginning of this year. I was sitting there with the name of the story on my stomach. I thought, yeah, I could even have made it worse, that name. The story of my heart. I mean, that might have been a little bit appealing as a name, but the story of my stomach. But the funny thing is, as a story being told, I'm not telling the stomach's more interesting than the heart. It's kind of interesting stuff that's going on, according to me. But as a story, my stomach story is much more interesting than telling my story of my heart. But as a labeling, I thought, then I started to use date as the name of the video. But you still have to, I want to write something with it. So I'm still struggling with this, and the last video didn't get so many listeners. Can have other reasons as well, as I changed the way of spraying it around. But label a video, labeling, it does, I'm sure, it isn't so appealing, I'm sure. So, but I did get some very nice stories together. So if you have to listen, please do. It as well, I told about that I have kind of found a path with this radio that I didn't have before. Let's say that I spent half a year finding out from video to video what it's all about. I get a subject in my head. It's like, okay, suddenly it's like coming to me, and then I know what the video is going to be about, and the story, and so on. And it's been more about my work and about things I've experienced to be able to explain certain things, and what I've had in mind when I started. But what I did remember before the last video was the blog I had. Or I tried. Foxcount. Again, this Dutch paper. I started with the article that you can find on my script page, link on my Facebook, Facebook page as well, but the YouTube page. And it's not in English, it's in Dutch and it's in Swedish. And then I went on with certain different kind of subjects, where I think I have my own twist on. I think I can take whatever subject and have my own twist on it. Something is what I written on my YouTube page that I want to challenge your mind. And it was a long time ago, so I have forgotten about it. But suddenly I remember that blog of mine that I had to stop with because the writing in Dutch, I'm too dependent on language, and then sorry, it's not my strongest side. I have found my voice now, so. But to get back to that, different kind of subjects and labeling is telling. That last video is telling a little bit about where I can go with this, and my personal way. So the subject of today goes very close back to my work, but actually it's a very good step in this subject ladder I can walk now, and I think I can I can be busy for years with this. So, but actually, I I want to share a dream I had last week, and I can tell I don't remember my dreams. I have never needed to go that path even, because I have another way to approach the subconscious, and but I have had dreams in my life that has been clear messages. It was a long time ago I had that, but this had me waking up 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, new ideas in my head. Let's say I was in a building, kind of school building, maybe more like building for courses, close to how a conservatory looks like, with small and bigger rooms and basically a little bit like that. I was there in the room, and I was going to give a course in that room, and it had a name, The Indian, and then there were some words more, but I didn't find them interesting when I woke up, so I've forgotten about those. There was one man, I think he was around maybe 40, and I don't know if it was said or what it was or not, but it was clear I shouldn't ask him about his background. But he looked clearly as an Indian man, and I'm talking now about American Indians, not Eastern India Indian, to be clear. I did go then too. It was kind of very simple, small little cafe to fetch some tea and to look for more if there were more students coming. I was just starting a new group, I didn't know. When I got back to the room, I saw a little boy. He is well, an Indian. A woman with something around her shoulders, clearly an Indian woman about my age. And then there was this very old man sitting on the floor with his back against the open door, and he had one feather on his head. An old Indian man. And I know I was thinking, what am I going to teach these people? And this was about the moment I woke up. I couldn't sleep after that. I went up and looked for a picture of the feather and on the internet, and started thinking, and even try because every course I give, it's the theme is always coming to me. Suddenly, I can't try to think a theme. It's just suddenly I just know. And with this dream, I just I tried the same day, late in the day, with with people I didn't know about talking about this course with the name The Indian, and I realized, no, I have to work it out some more. It's not really ready. When it's ready, I will do a short Dutch video telling about the course, because I'm going to start the course in one of the first days in October, and I just know that what does it stand for, this The Indian? It's, to me, it's funny, actually, I have a poster just in front of me now, and it's a poster I've had since at least 20 years, and it's an Indian woman standing on a cliff, and she has a big feather in her hair, and there is a text: only after the last tree has been cut down, only after the last river has been poisoned, only after the last fish has been caught, only then will you find that money cannot be eaten. Cree Indian prophecy, it says. I just thought about this poster. It hangs there such a long time, so I didn't thought about it. I didn't think about it. But the message to me is it's symbolic. It's people that, to me, live in harmony with nature. So suddenly, my courses could have quite heavy subjects sometimes. I mean, through the years, I've given courses with the theme of fear a couple of times, 3, 4 times, I don't know. And I've had some people doing it, and that's brave people, because it's a subject that a lot of people run from. So, no, I know one thing that has to be included. Okay, it's tough stuff to look in yourself and work in yourself, but harmony. We are not living in nature like Indians, but I think very much then about, first of all, with yourself. Harmony with your own body, with your own thinking, with your own feelings. That's the being. But also harmony with doing. Like, one very hard thing I had to learn is that know when to act. If you have a goal and you want to take certain steps, and you think, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that, and you start. I mean, I have. It hasn't gone so well, and it's just been about the source of action. It's like, I think I have to do this, I think I have to do that. It's like it has always created problems to teach me to take another path. And the path I just have to follow now, because it's a path of just waiting for a movement, to know when to act. So, actually know when not to act. It's like I have now achieved a little bit this thing of dance in life. I know it. I know where it's going. Kind of when everything falls in place, and it's like it's a slow dance at this moment, but it's there. This is about listening to your feelings. I trust my feelings completely, and I wanted to record a video already last week, and my computer do not start. And it has done its work, so if it gives up, I mean, it's understandable. I have a little thing, but if I try to record that, it makes strange noises. I haven't found out how to do it. So I've depended on this computer that didn't want to start. It was dead. It just kind of makes attempts and then dies out. So, but I put it in the kitchen and I walked by and I've done several days. Push this button to make it to when I passed and when I've been sitting there time after time after time, and there was a feel. In some way, it was like, okay, give up. But there was a voice telling me, or a feeling, I don't know what to call it, said, It was like it hasn't done its last yet. It's so I went on and I went on, and then today, oh, there it was. And actually, I had cancelled something because I didn't feel well today. It was too much stress. It's like when you go in the wrong path and the whole body and system start to react and say, and so I cancelled, and there suddenly gave the space to do this recording. Everything just fell in place. Nice. But, okay, to go back to, I don't have really the subject, because suddenly when I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and started to think, I realized it's such a, it's so broad, you can put it in every aspect, harmony with the surrounding, and doing, and being, but it will be an important word from now on, and it's really the goal. If you put fear as a name, subject on the course, it's fear is not the goal, but so it will be more goal-oriented courses. So, listening to your feelings, as I said, I do it. I can do it 100%. But I don't recommend it. There's a lot to learn about your own feelings and emotions before you can do that. I didn't want to scare you away with actually where I want to get to, because the thing of feeling powerless is actually something that actually so most people deal with in one or the other way in life. But we do not want to deal with the subject. We want it to magically disappear and or do as if it's not there. You can actually say there are not so many, let's say, main subjects. There are not so many in life what we are dealing with. What differs is how we are dealing with those subjects. I want to bring this subject because feeling of powerlessness, being powerless, is something we believe in, we follow too much. Too many people on this earth follow that feeling. And let's put it in a way of believing that feeling. I trust my feeling completely. But there's a big but in this. Let's take another feeling. A very specific thing though. Like fear of flying. So let's say you're dead scared of stepping into that airplane and flying. You want to avoid that feeling. You want to avoid that airplane because you do not like that feeling, and it's a struggle and so on and so on. But do you believe that feeling? Maybe it's come very far, but probably you can tell yourself that the probability that something will go wrong during during the flight is actually very, very small. So you do not really believe that feeling. I know for myself, if I would be scared of an airplane, I would believe that feeling. But that's another aspect of fear. What I want to tell about is that there's something that can say that realistically it isn't true. It is just a feeling, but okay, very hard feeling to how to deal with it. That's another part. Let's say, now again, look at the feeling of being powerless. We have much more tendency, and it's so easy to step in the thing of, okay, I feel powerless. I am powerless. And that is such a big misunderstanding and such a easy trap to step into. It is hard to not believe that plane will end up, that air trip with the airplane will end in a disaster. It's hard to believe that, but this thing, when you feel powerless, it's even more harder to say, but it doesn't need to mean that I am. But that's just a fact. It's a feeling. That feeling I trust completely. If I feel that feeling, I know it is a message. But the message is not I am powerless. It's a message telling there is a wound in my power. My own power, my own strength has been wounded. And that wound has stayed there, hasn't been taken care of, and hasn't been healed. It's still there. That is what that feeling, that kind of quality of emotional feeling is telling. But as I said, that feeling we take very serious in one way and we react to it in different ways. Okay, I feel powerless, I am powerless. I can't do anything, I'm dead. Or you run away from that feeling as far as you can get, and you need power in your life. You need to feel power over other people and so on. And I'm quite sure, I mean, I haven't personally get across this thing in my life to analyze it or in my way work with it. But I think that those people who are really dealing with power, they come out of that group, most of them. And then you can actually say it is an emotional disease. And I'm not saying mental disease, I'm saying emotional disease. There's a wound, there's infection, there's whatever, there is a wound in your power. And this is a reaction on that, and so it is still on what I would say emotional disease. But we still do believe in those people in because maybe you put yourself in unpowerless, and there has to be the someone with power. It becomes complicated. So, what do I want to tell you? What is it that I find so important to get across? Yeah, if, I mean, this doesn't count for everyone, but if you have issue with feeling powerless, see it as, I mean, feel that feeling and know that it's a wound talking. It doesn't tell anything about your power. Actually, I mean, it has nothing. Like the fear of airplane. If you have that for every airplane, it doesn't tell anything about the trip with the airplane. Nothing. I know that, and I haven't had it. I haven't had that feeling of, oh, I don't step into that airplane. But I have had that, oh, I don't go out walking on the street now. I just feel it. And I know I can trust that feeling. But no, this is for every airplane, the fear of airplane. You have, it's the same thing as that your feeling of powerlessness has nothing to do with your real power. But if you have believed in it, and these things happens early in life, and you believe it, have believed it, it's so easy then to let your power lay, put it on the side, and not let it develop, and not let it flower, and for sure not let it heal. The way to heal it is to feel it, but not to believe it. I think it started to become complicated, but that's the thing with feelings. It's another story than what we make out of it. And if you learn these things, I mean, my compass in life is my feeling. It's a nice stepping stone to get in this subject. It was the last article I was writing for my blog, but I never finished, about power, all the aspects of power. Writing it, I realized that it's such a huge subject. I once asked a journalist, can you imagine a world where there's no power? And now in the sense of using power over someone else. That doesn't exist. You sit in your own power, but do not use it. And not letting someone using power over you. Just imagine a society without. The journalist just said, boring. I think he would be without work. Think about it. We think ourselves as beings that is developing. I mean, women may vote now, and it didn't in the past, and so 100 years ago. We have developed a lot the last 100 years. And what about the last 500 years? We like to look at ourselves as beings that are developing. A step I would love to see is that using your power over someone else is not okay. That's against letting people standing in their own power and blossoming in their own being. It's against, it's a violation. I would love to see it morally wrong, Doesn't need to be written in the law, but maybe. But morally wrong, just like stealing and murdering, we consider that being wrong. It's a violation. Just as using power is a violation, I would love to include that in morally wrong. And as there's still people who are stealing, there's still people who are murdering, there will go on being people using power over other people. But that we don't accept it as acceptable. I spent some time, long time ago, trying to imagine that society. Please do, if you feel like it. So, if you want to be on my mailing list, when you get an email when I have video ready, you just write an email to radioessence@hotmail.com. And if you want to get off the list, do the same. And please, questions, reactions, I love to get them. So until next time, and have a nice day, have a nice evening, sleep well, whenever you listen.